paranormal. Coming up next weekend, we're going to Asylum 49. I'm super excited. I have never been in this building before, not even for like, you know, a ghost haunted house, whatever. Um, but I'm super stoked. I've heard a lot about this location, about things that have been inside. There's tons of people that go and investigate, and almost everyone has evidence. And so I decided that I would read a little bit of information about Asylum 49. Asylum, Asylum 49 used to be the old Twilla Hospital. It started as a private residence for Samuel F. Lee and his family. Over time, the face of the building changed, ranging from a poorhouse to a public hospital. As the population of Tooele and Utah itself began to grow, the residents and administrators noticed that much of the building could be used for much more, and it soon after became the Tooele Hospital. The hospital opened in 1953, but never received enough funding. Tooele Hospital didn't even have a morgue for their dead. Their solution? To stack bodies in an unrefrigerated room until the county coroner could finally come and sign his name on their death certificate. A truly inhumane way to treat remains of the dead. The new building was built in 1953 and was originally known as the Twilla Army Depot. My eye itches. Minor adjustments were made to the building to ensure that it would be able to provide medical care to the residents in need. At one point, it was hailed as a state-of-the-art facility. These days, half of the newer constructed building operates as a senior living center, and the other half operates as Asylum 49. They literally split the building, and they were like, well, this half is less bullshit. We're just gonna rebuild this one, and that is an old folks home, and then the other half is built for the not built, but ran down and is for the haunted house. Like they left it abandoned and whatnot. So it's like people still die in this building. Like your senior citizens, it's an old folks home. Like they still die. It's just like a never-ending pile of spirits in this building. It's just like a spirit free for all. Um, Even darker still, the Tooele County Cemetery is adjacent to the new building. So right adjacent from your senior citizen building, you have the cemetery. So they can look out the window and see their friends. Whoops. I'm terrible. One way ticket. Tricket? Can talk? It's fine. Bought myself a one-way ticket to downtown. Anyways, lost the I'm sorry. When I was doing my weird things, my thumb hit the button and it scrolled through the page, and I'm just trying to find where I'm at. Even though the building is slated as a haunted house and is a popular tourist attraction, actual reports of ghostly activity exist at Asylum 49. Multiple investigations have been conducted at the hospital, all of which have turned up some experiences or strange evidence. Many reports from the hospital the hospital, telling of an old man only named as Wet. It is said he was a patient at the elderly care facility and that he suffered greatly from Alzheimer's. At the time of his death, he was very confused and scared, and it is thought that this energy carried over with him in death. A very heartbreaking realization, truly. He is the most reported in and outside of the room he stayed in while residing at the building. Um, Samuel F. Lee. At, as this was once his house, it is no surprise that he is reported to haunt the building as well. In life, Samuel contributed in many ways to the community. His son Thomas, who has been estimated to be about 7 years old, is seen often lingering alongside of his father at the hospital. He is a playful spirit who enjoys playing pranks on visitors and tourists. Samuel himself has been said to talk to visitors, telling him about all the accomplishments he's made during his life. Perhaps one of the most interesting haunting. I don't know why I'm talking in it. That's whatever. I don't know. Perhaps some of the most interesting of all the hauntings is the nurse. I quit. I'm home alone, bored, and I'm talking to myself. I already feel a little, it's fine. God, do you see how many chins I had there? Where'd my neck go? Anyway, perhaps the most interesting of all the hauntings is that of a nurse in white named Maria. She is believed to guard the portal that has been reportedly seen at the facility. The portal is described as being extremely bright and formed as a way to direct the deceased of the building into the afterlife. Makes sense? People who have passed away at the elderly care facility have reported seeing this portal a few days before their death. However, the ghost nurse Maria warns them to avoid the portal as the other side of it is dangerous. A man in black was once seen entering a room of a patient, wondering who the visitor was at such a late hour. One of the hospital nurses followed him to inform him that visiting hours were over and he would have to come back the next day. However, when she reached the patient's door, it was locked. She called multiple nurses over to have them help open the door, and eventually they got the door opened by prying the door open. When they entered the room, the man in black was nowhere to be found, but the patient had passed away. Could this entity had come to guide the spirit to the afterlife? That was probably, the Grim Reaper. Slicing and dicing, coming to take away someone to the afterlife. Um, I don't know why I'm like this. I really don't. ADHD, maybe a little bit of autism. Well, I'm pretty. It's on the autism spectrum. It's fine. It's cool. We're good. We're golden. Let's get back on track here. Other hauntings. Several other entities are said to haunt the facility. Their names are Richard, James, Ned, Peter, and a young child named Jessica. I have an incoming call. In inspected, suspected spam. Sorry. F you. Several other entities, blah blah blah. Their names are Richard, James, Ned, Peter, and a young child named Jessica. These spirits like to make themselves known to the staff and visitors through their disembodied voices, cold touches, and apparitions. Guests at Asylum 49 report orbs, mists, and even an unsettling feeling of being watched. While this could just be a part of the haunt, the staff at Asylum 49 maintain that the haunts are very real and completely separate from the manufactured ones. Now, when we go in, we will have the building to ourselves. Not so much the elderly living part. Obviously, old people live there on that half. But the other half that is, you know, the old hospital, the haunted part with all the kids and stuff that's not their elderly ghosts, is on the other side. And we will have that building completely to ourselves. There will be no actors in there or nothing. It's just going to be Amity Paranormal and our equipment. And I'm so excited to see what we catch and to see maybe if I get some of these names coming through so I know who we're talking to. I think I'm going to do some of these videos every time. I mean, we got piles of investigations lined up here. Um, each one of those folders is its own little paranormal file here. So what we're gonna do is I'm thinking I might go through and find some information and just tell you guys a little bit about it. But I may do it backwards next time. I may go to the place first and then come back and be like, hey, this is what the information and here's what we found. And so then it would be completely going in blind. But I do also like knowing some of their names and stuff because then if I get a name that comes through, I can be like, holy crap, this is like it Corin's Spaz, and it does so much better while we're there to know opposed to when we leave because then we can communicate better. Like they were people too. It's just like going into someone's house and being like, hello, who are you? And then them being like, my name is Jessica. And then you ignoring it and being like, oh, can you tell me your name? How old? Or, like just ignoring all the responses that they tell you. Um, like people interrupting you as you talk, I guess. Guilty of that also. But anyway, but yeah, so like I like to do some things so that I can actually have a conversation. Like it's an entity, they are spirits. Like I want to have conversations, and I'm stoked, and I hope you all are stoked. And I am just rambling because I don't know what else to say, and I don't know how to close my videos. um, but yeah, I will see you next week. Um, as we go to Asylum 49. I hope that you all enjoy our videos. Hopefully, we'll be getting better and better with time. I'm learning video editing. I may just end up paying somebody to do it for me. But until next week, I hope you all have a fantastic day, a fantastic night, a fantastic week, and I hope you hear some ghosty giggles.